Okay, friends, we're going to talk about apostrophes, which are informative, but if you use them incorrectly, it makes your writing look a little less than intelligent. So let's get started. First of all, we need to know, what is an apostrophe? It is not a comma, as a lot of you think it is, but it's actually up at the top of the word, kind of like where a math exponent would be. So if you look at it's right here, IT apostrophe S, that's where you're looking for your apostrophes, okay? Then we have two major reasons to use apostrophes. First of all, we're using apostrophes with contractions, and I'm going to go into that in 1 second, okay? And then the next reason to use apostrophes is to show possession or ownership, when somebody owns something or it belongs somewhere, okay? Contractions and possession, two reasons to use apostrophes. So let's talk about contractions. Basically, apostrophes kind of act like glue, and you're putting two words back together after we've taken out some of the extra stuff in the middle, all right? So this kind of dates us back to elementary school, but let's go ahead and refresh our brains. The words can and not, that is going to get rid of some stuff in the middle. So that turns into can't. I and am, I'm. Who and is turns into whose. Should and not turns into shouldn't. And he and will turn into he'll or he'll. That's a really fun word to say. But if you look at it, you can see that there's missing letters in between all of them. And a lot of times it is the vowels connecting. See, like I and am, we got rid of the A. But we are just connecting those two to shorten what we're saying. It's not really used so much in formal writing, but you do see it a lot in our texting and our normal everyday writing, all right? Contractions, like I said, put the words back together with that magical apostrophe. Then we have our possessive nouns, which basically just means that we're showing what belongs to what, or what belongs to who, okay? There are a few rules here, but I'm going to try to break it down to be as simple as two different rules to follow, okay? So we have singular nouns, right? So we have the boy and Miss Bragg, that's me. The boy's hat, there's one hat and there's one boy. So the rule is add apostrophe S. Miss Bragg's car, there's one Miss Bragg and there's one car. So that means we add apostrophe S. So the rule here is if there's a singular noun and a singular object, just go ahead and add apostrophe S. Then we have some fun words that are still singular nouns, but they already end in S. So we have James and Mr. Potts. James ends in S, so does Mr. Potts. So what do? This is when you still add an apostrophe S. It's not fun to say James is his hat or Mr. Potts is his car, but it's still the rule that you're supposed to follow. If it's a singular noun and there's only one object belonging to them, even though it ends in S and it looks and sounds weird, the rule is still to add just one apostrophe S after the S. All right? Then we have plural nouns. The children's game, the geese's pond. Now, both of these words, children and geese, show us that the noun is plural. There are many children playing this game, and there are quite a few geese in this pond, right? So what you need to do here is still add an apostrophe S. Even though there are multiple nouns in our subject, you're still going to add apostrophe S because there's no S attached to that noun. And then we have our final way to see this, and this is what people really get stuck on. This is when your noun is plural and it ends in S. So, the boys' hats, the principal's cars. We have many boys and many hats. So you can actually picture a group of boys all wearing hats, okay? So boys ending in S, we're not going to add another apostrophe S here because there are many boys and many hats. The principal's cars, if we have 3 principals at Dunbar Middle School and they each have their own car, we can actually visually see 3 cars when we think of this statement. So that would mean we have principles ending in S because we have 3 principles and then an apostrophe after the S. So in general, if I need to summarize this with the ownership possessive apostrophe, if it is a singular noun and it doesn't end in S, do apostrophe S, the boy's hat. If it is a singular noun and it does end in S, like James's hat, you're still going to add your apostrophe S. If it's a plural noun, such as the children's game, then you're going to add apostrophe S. And then finally, if we have a plural noun already ending in S, then you will just do S apostrophe, okay? So 3 out of 4 times we're doing apostrophe S, and then there's that one exception to the rule where you do S apostrophe. All right, friends, so if you have learned anything from this little mini lesson on apostrophes, you might be able to empathize with our character here on the ground of our cartoon, who is just in agony reading all of these improperly used apostrophes. So my advice to you is to make sure that you are not one of those people using them incorrectly and to make your writing stand out from everybody else's.